When I was a kid, I wanted one thing: the Razor Ground Force Drifter. A kid's go-kart able to go up to 15 miles per hour. And today, about 20 years later, I finally bought one. Oh no! It's not as fast as I thought it would be. And I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit let down. This go-kart that I've wanted since I was 8 needed to be a lot faster. Alright, so these old batteries are 24 volts, but this battery is 40 volts. So we should theoretically get double the power. And with our new battery plugged in, we got a promising result.
Oh, that's faster. That's definitely faster.
And after testing it out, we just burnt up the motor.
Dude.
Whoa, the motor!
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
That's it.
It gave way. After our battery swap didn't really work, we decided to rip everything out of the go-kart.
Yeah.
This is because we decided to replace that wimpy motor with the most powerful one we've ever bought. This is the most powerful motor we've ever bought, and we were actually going to use it on another scooter build. But it would be perfect in this thing. The only problem with the motor was we needed an equally powerful battery to make it work. And as you can see, it's pretty big. So to make it fit, we decided to cut the go-kart in half. Alright, so now that the cart is separated, the battery's gonna go right in this space. That way the seat still fits, and then we can put the motor on the back like this. That's gonna look really sick.
Yeah, it's gonna look really cool.
Since the battery weighs about 55 pounds, it really needs to be in the middle of the cart. If we just strapped it to the back like this, it would be easier, but driving it at high speeds would be nearly impossible because of wheelies and lack of steering. The next thing we were concerned about was the center of gravity. We could set the battery on top of the floor like this, it'd be pretty easy and fast, but if we lower the battery, we will lower our chances of flipping. After welding the metal on the cart to make a nice little rectangle, I then made 4 ribs for the battery to sit on, and these would also help join the cart together and make it stronger. Alright, so now you can see these awesome little ribs that are going to let the battery sit down in this cart. Look at that, Chloe. Seat fits.
Sure does.
With the battery compartment done and the go-kart being one piece again, it was time to upgrade our powertrain. The way this works is super simple. There's just a chain and sprocket on the axle that connects to the motor. And because our old motor was so small, so was the chain and sprocket that was on it. Our new motor would rip this old sprocket to shreds, so you can see how much beefier the new one is.
Okay, we good? Looks like it.
With our sprocket in place, we could start drilling holes where we could mount this monstrous motor to the go-kart. Then we could put the new chain on, which was also significantly bigger than the old one. We finally got the motor mounted, and we have the perfect amount of tension on this chain right here. Look at that. Then we added our 200 amp motor controller. Put the battery back in, and wired everything up. All I gotta do is plug in this giant plug, and it should work after that. That's a good sign, good sign.
Nothing blew up.
This is the moment of truth. If I twist this throttle right here, it should spin the wheels. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it did it, yes. What?
Go full throttle.
I don't know if you remember or not, but this is how it used to sound. Compare that to now.
Let's go test it.
Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be fast. 3, 2, 1. And in case you're wondering why the kart doesn't look very fast, well, look closely. The wheels are just spinning. This thing had so much power I could initiate a drift whenever I wanted to. And then when my brother Colby got on, you can really get a feel for how powerful this thing is. But there were a couple unexpected problems. I know it's supposed to be a drift kart and everything, but it had so little grip, it couldn't even make it up the hill. The next problem is, we were only on this for about 10 minutes, and these wheels completely wore out. They went from looking like this to looking like this. And with the new set costing $50, we definitely couldn't keep replacing them. To replace our small wheels didn't really work. We got these. They're not really meant to go in a go-kart, so we're gonna have to do some fabrication, but I think we can make these work. To make these new wheels work, they had to slide on and lock to our axle. The old wheels were useless now, so we actually stole that metal piece in the middle of it, where we could put it on our new wheels. By the way, pretty much this entire video has been filmed with the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. This is the most convenient camera I've ever used. Not only can I start a recording with my voice, but I can even use my hands to gesture it to start. It also has a 2.5-inch flip screen that makes it extremely easy to see what I'm recording. I can also switch to different mounts very quickly because of their magnetic mounting system. I recorded most of this video with 1080p, but the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 has 4K and even 8K resolution to capture insane detail. Look at the difference in these zoomed in shots. Meanwhile, after we heated up that metal piece in the wheel, we were able to melt the plastic around it where we could pound it out. This piece was the key to hooking up our hand truck wheels to the go-kart. All I had to do now was just put it in the center of our rim, and then weld it together as best I could. The Ace Pro 2 is also the first action camera with insane low light quality. Just look at this camera versus my GoPro 13. The Ace Pro 2 is an amazing camera, guys. The battery life is great, they don't glitch, they have awesome image quality, and here is the audio test. This is the audio from the Ace Pro 2. This is the audio from the GoPro Hero 13. You can see, like, it's totally fine, it's still recording. And they gave us a great deal. If you scan my QR code or click the link in my description, the first 20 orders will get 10% off the Ace Pro 2 and a free vertical horizontal mount. But do it now because they're only going to do this deal for 5 days. And if you're watching in the future, just get one. These are awesome cameras. Back to the wheels. Now that our hub was welded, we could then put the wheels back together where we could put them on the kart. And again, these wheels are literally meant to go on a hand truck, so there's a good chance they're just gonna fly apart. All right, let's see if this works. Okay. It's a lot quieter. Dude, the wheels are actually working. Good. I guess I'm just trying to take off and see what happens.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Oh! But I guess I welded them strong enough because they were holding up to what is now the fastest vehicle we've ever made. Oh my gosh! That was the fastest I think I've ever gone.
Wow.
Oh, I need to do it again. Oh, it's like a roller coaster! Let me just say, we did not expect this at all. The torque of this motor literally accelerates you just like one of those electric roller coasters. It's like a roller coaster, dude! That's the best way to describe it. Not only that, but now it has no trouble getting up the hill. But despite this go-kart's power, there were still a couple things we had to iron out before we could test its true speed. The main thing, it needs brakes. You can see when we took off super fast, we had to use our feet to slow us down. To put some real brakes on this thing, I bought this little hub on Amazon that we could mount our brake disc to. To get it to fit though, we had to use our lathe to shave it down. It went from looking like this to this. That way we could slide the disc brake over it. Look how precise this is. Look at that. Drill all the holes, and then have it perfectly centered where we can slide it on the axle. All right, now that we got the brake rotor on and attached, we're going to put the caliper on, and I'm thinking it's gonna go right here somehow. Try it. It spins, we're gonna try it out. Oh, it stops it dead in its tracks. With our brakes working perfectly, I finished up the welding on the motor mounts, where we could then clean all our welds up by sanding them down with the grinder. Then, after giving everything a good wipe down, we were ready to make this whole frame one single color. Then we replaced our old bumpy, loud front wheels with pneumatic rubber ones. And while Colby was building an actual tray to hold down the battery, I was putting the entire cart back together.
Nice.
And with everything in the cart, there was only one thing left to do to send it over the edge. Wiring. This go-kart is going to have a key to turn it on and off, a reverse switch, a headlight, a brake light, and a 3-speed mode switch. To do all this, I had to run almost 100 feet of wire. It's looking pretty complicated, but it's starting to work. See? You can see here when I put the center console back on, there's the key and the reverse switch right above it. All right, so now when I squeeze this brake, the back light should light up. Huh. Oh yeah. And after I put all the switches and the throttle and the voltage meter on the steering wheel, it looks like a steering wheel from an F1 car. Then I cleaned up the massive amounts of wires with this nice corrugated tubing to help it look a little neater and protect the wires. Then after covering everything up and securing the wires down, it looked really neat under the cart. This is our finished go-kart. This thing is equipped with a 72 volt 50 amp hour battery, a keyed ignition, a reverse switch, lights, and the fastest motor we've ever bought. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh my god! Holy crap! Oh! That is the fastest thing we made ever. This go-kart was quite literally insane. The amount of torque it had just didn't make much sense. And I was gonna leave it at that and not do a top speed run, but for whatever reason,
Time to see how fast we can go.
Colby really wanted to do one.
This thing is a kid's go-kart. The wheels can brake, the axle can brake, the bearings can brake. Let's just hope it works out. Here we go. Whoa! Holy crap! That's gotta be 50. That's gotta be 60. Holy cow!
Oh my god, that was fast.
Holy cow!
Since we don't have a GPS or a speedometer or anything, we don't know how fast this was, but I'm gonna guess about 55 to 60 miles per hour. The real place where this go-kart shines is its instant acceleration. Just look at it versus our green hyper scooter. Go! Instantly, it completely leaves this scooter in the dust. And this is a very fast scooter. This might be ridiculous, but we also race Colby's truck. 1, go! We only went to about 40 miles per hour. But you get the idea, this go-kart is fast. It did great on corners. The brakes worked amazing. Dude, they work so good. And the reverse switch was extremely convenient. If you would have told 8-year-old me that I'd have a go-kart like this, well, I guess it would have been a long 20 years.